Welcome to Wellness Spring, our one-stop shop for education, inspiration, motivation, and optimal wellness. Learn from top experts and exceptional people. Welcome to Wellness Spring. Today I am super excited to have a lovely friend with me as my guest, Jola Pypno-Crapanzano. And we met through our communal writing coach, Mirav Tarka, about 2 years ago when I was writing my collaborative book called Lady X. And Mirav suggested I reach out to Jola, who's a tech queen, to make my Amazon flyer, my little banner. And she did this most incredible job. And I'm so grateful to Mirav for the introduction. And I've been following her ever since. And I'm sure once we delve into this interview, you'll understand what an incredible soul she is. So welcome, Jola. It's so lovely to have you here on Wellness Spring.
I couldn't be more delighted. Thank you so much, Beverly, for inviting me. I honestly have to tell you, I have clients in Australia. I had interviewed people from Australia, but I've never been a guest on a podcast. So welcome down under. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. And I'm so excited to be the first one to interview you here. So without further ado, I'll just explain to the listeners a bit about your background, tell them your bio. So Jola is a certified high performance and positive intelligence coach, NLP and timeline therapy practitioner, a fitness, wellness and lifestyle coach. And she's also the founder of Coaching Journey with Jola LLC and a 3 times international best-selling author. She has a master's degree in scientific technical information from Silesian University of Poland and over 30 years of combined experience in working with thousands of very unique individuals and groups of people, serving them in many different capacities. I'm super excited to talk about your book and all the wonderful journey that you've been on. However, firstly, because on this show, I like people to get a feel for the person. So they can get to know you better. Could you please explain about your background, about your parents and siblings, where you grew up, what your life was like, what education, just so we can have a little taste?
Yes, absolutely. However, I always wonder if people don't get bored about listening backgrounds and then bios and stuff and accolades, because truly people always want to know what's in it for me. Tell me, Jola, why are you here sitting and talking to me? So I'm going to introduce this in a way that will tell you that everything that ever happened in my life was a reason for it, very important one, as a matter of fact, because it was paving the road to me sitting right here, right now in front of you talking. And it's actually very exciting for me to share about me, even though, they always tell you, don't talk about yourself, don't talk about yourself. I thank you for this, because honestly, it's so rare that we get to share and proudly announce to the world all our successes. So people say sometimes, and you mentioned Mirav, my publisher. By the way, hi Mirav, if you listen to it, we both are very grateful for having you in our life. Because of you, we both became international best-selling authors. She calls my story a Cinderella story because I come from Poland. I grew up in Poland when Poland was in kind of depressed economically times. It was times where there was nothing on a store in the stores on the shelves. I ate oranges and bananas just for Christmas. Blue American jeans was unattainable dream of mine that I couldn't possibly achieve, and I dreamed about traveling the world. This was my biggest dream. So I traveled on the map with my finger, hoping that one day I'll be in all these amazing places in the world. And what I did not know then is that this was a beginning of me starting my manifestation journey. And I'm not your typical manifesting guru, but I tell you this much, I manifested my entire life from beginning till the end. So when I started dreaming about travel, I knew that I needed to help the destiny somehow. So I started learning languages. I speak fluently four. I can communicate in many more. And I knew if I know languages, that will help me travel the world. So when I call it, I grew up in a black and white Poland, but honestly, I think that helped me with my creativity, with my resilience, with seeing beauty in everything and appreciating every single thing. I can be like a kid in a candy store with the smallest thing till today. And people says, where did you get this joy from? I said, because I have so much appreciation and gratitude for everything that I've achieved in life. And so, my life is divided right now into two phases. My phase in Poland, what you can say, was black and white. However, it was this abundance of love and relationship and all the goodness that I had with my family, surrounded by amazing parents, grandparents, sibling, my brother, and then it was just amazing, right? So I would never say that this was a wasted time. It was a very important time in my life. Now, fast forwarding to today, I live in a very abundant, colorful life of United States. I'm here almost 30 years, and it's just incredible. This is my new home. I built my family here. I'm here, creating my dream and basically realizing all those things that I once only thought about and just had these visions about. So that's in a very, very quick overview. I also would say that in between, I traveled the world. I found the way. I became first tour guide in Poland, and I visited until now close to 70 countries around the world. Australia is not on my map yet, but it's a big, big, big want, desire. And I know that once I'm there, I would love to see you in person. And about 5 years ago, but maybe that will come as your next question, I had a breakthrough. I had a moment of awakening, moment of realization that even though on an outside my life looked picture perfect, everything was just like some people dream about, amazing family, great job as a manager in a huge corporation in Manhattan, travels around the world, like I said, a beautiful home, friends, and I had a missing piece in my heart. And I didn't know what that piece was. That was the thing that was driving me crazy. What is it? What are you missing, Jola? What's wrong with you? And it was just a tremendous coincidence. It was through my personal fitness transformation that I got introduced to high performance. And I realized from that I want to serve people in capacities far beyond wellness and fitness. And when I realized that was the missing piece, the service, the creating legacy. And I started creating brand new dreams that were going now parallel to my travel dreams. I just realized that I want to leave when I'm gone one day. I want to leave something meaningful for my family, for my children, so that they'll be proud of me and not just thousands and thousands of travel pictures. So from that book was born, From Impossible to Impossible, because like I said, it's a Cinderella story.
Oh, that's incredible. You covered a lot of stuff there. And what did your parents actually do for a living, and what was school life like? Because people don't know, and this is why I like people to get a feel of the nitty-gritty. They don't know if you struggled when you're growing up. Obviously, when we're children, our life is what it is, and we think everybody is the same and grow up the same. But what was it like growing up in Poland all those years ago?
Yes, so imagine um, I had a brother 2 years younger, and we were like this middle class. I can't tell that, I was either very rich or very poor. I mean, I had everything I ever wanted. My mom worked in the office from like 7 a.m. till 3. My father worked, actually, he had a position, like a managerial position in another corporation. We lived in a city called Katowice, very industrial, very polluted at that time, incredibly polluted because a lot of coal mines and steel works and all kinds of industrial facilities. So the air was super polluted. We had a dust in our apartments every single day. We had to dust because it was just coming down. I didn't realize how bad the air was then. And my parents did everything, absolutely everything for me and my brother to ensure that we will have fabulous lives as much as possible. But I often say this, I think in case of my mom especially, she gave everything to me and my brother. I mean everything. She left nothing for herself. She was selflessly working, and I remember her coming and visiting me years later to United States, and she was saying, Yola, I don't think I lived my life. I don't think I didn't see anything. So I made this big pledge that I will show my mom the world. And then when I was able to, I used to take her on vacation around the world and just show her this, what she didn't have when she was basically giving it to me and my brother. But what I learned from this is, and the lesson I share now with my clients, is that it's absolutely amazing to give everything you got to your children, but you have to leave something for yourself, for your self-care, for your hobbies, for the things you love, because when the children are gone, then there's this big empty void. So that's what I would like to share. And my dad, a lesson that I learned from him is that absolute acceptance and total whatever me and my brother chose as our destination, regarding schools, regarding activities, regarding anything, he was always having our back. And that was amazing thing as well, because that if you have that person in your corner that always is there for you, you can always count on. There's nothing better, nothing more powerful. And school, like I said, I didn't have these modern luxuries in school like kids in Western countries had. We didn't have a lot of things, but this wasn't really an issue. I got my education. I was top of my class, almost every year. It was. I look with a lot of sentiment at these years in Poland. I was often looking at the streets. I saw the black and white. I saw the all shades of gray. I was starving for the abundance of colors.
Yeah, and I know personality-wise, you're very colourful. There's no black and white with you because, like you say, manifesting, you've been doing it all your life, and that's another way of tapping into your intuition and using the power of imagination. And you spoke about appreciation and gratitude. And for me, gratitude is one of the most important things in our life, gratitude and forgiveness. And I know you think on the same wavelengths, but you've written a lot of that in your book. So your latest book that you just kindly showed us, from impossible to I'm possible, that came about so quickly. I believe it's a record. You made it in 4 days. Can you tell us about that? That's so exciting. And I absolutely love your opening style and your introduction to it.
So obviously I did not write that book in 4 days, but the production, the actual publishing, and it becoming a best-selling piece on Amazon, that happened within 4 days. So I realized throughout the years that English obviously is not my first language. I always felt like, I speak with an accent, maybe people don't understand me. I had all these limiting beliefs throughout the years. And then when you do serious amount of personal development, you start crushing these limiting beliefs one after another, and you coming out of your shell, and you're realizing that what's in your heart, it matters, that people will relate to the message you have, regardless if it's you know, if it's with an accent or without accent. And so from a person who had hard time even thinking about writing a post on Facebook in English, think about this big thing, writing a book. So I just want to go back a couple of years, but because in 2020, it was a total coincidence. Again, I was writing in my special journal. It's like a journal of dreams, right? You write these most audacious, crazy dreams that you would be even ashamed to share with other people, because they'd be thinking you're some crazy nutcase, right? Thinking this big. But you write them every day like they already happened. And one of these things was, I want to be an international best-selling author of 2 books. And like, who would bring me books? But I kept writing. And 2 years ago, I was invited to a collaboration a book, and I just had to write 1 chapter. And that was first in Polish for one person, and then I met Mirav, and that book that we wrote together with 22 authors, book called One, Wellness Guide to Body, Mind and Soul. That book became an international bestseller, and is actually permanent international bestseller on Amazon. And that got me thinking, wow, it's possible, right? It is absolutely possible. Then pandemic started in 2020. And Mirav came up with another idea. Let's write the book about our experiences, how we stay. So we wrote book #Stay Home. What happens inside when you cannot go outside? That book became a bestseller. I'm like, no, you know what? That's something really, really special happening here. So I start writing small pieces, like a little articles and little blog posts and whatnot. And they were all description of what I was going through, what was important for me, how I'm overcoming certain challenges, what I'm learning. What I would love to share with you, but it's very important for me that the viewers know that I used to be this masculine energy tour de force. Let's go, hustle, grind. I got this, let's go, let's produce, let's make it. And this hyper high achiever. And a couple of years ago, I was introduced to this more delicate feminine energy of bliss, flow and ease, and realizing that you cannot outsmart, you cannot outdo everything. You have to let go sometimes and trust and just go with the flow, sort of. And so when I realized that, and I start learning about crystals and I learning about manifesting, I'm like, wow, I manifested my whole life without knowing it. So now that I know how to do it, let's see what I can do with that. So that book, that collection of stories was everything I was learning that was working for me. And so I was presenting on a conference in California last month, and I said, wouldn't it be nice if I had a book in my hand? In May, I had another book that I wrote. This was written through a ghostwriter, but it's a beautiful book as well. How to create raving fans who monetize. And that book I had in a conference in California. I said, wouldn't it be wonderful to have another book in this conference? So I said, well, I can actually publish this in like a 48-hour books or something and just hold it in my hand. But my mentor mentioned, maybe you should work on your cover. I love this cover. I really, really love this cover. This cover was, actually, I took a picture in Bali when I was on my coaching retreat with women in 2019. But so I called Mirav. I said, Mirav, do you have a good designer? And she goes, of course I do. I said, well, my mentor suggested that I should have this like very intricate cover design with one head coming out of another head, all these faces and whatnot. She goes, when do you need it? I'm like, next week. And she goes, well, the fastest I've ever produced the book was 10 days. But if you are game, I'm on it. And guess what? I said, yes, let's go. We didn't change the design. Design stayed the same. We reformatted it for Amazon. She had to do a few tweaks. I did the editing and we went with it. And oh my God, she broke her own record. This book was on Kindle, I think, under 5 days. I thought 5, she says 4. Whatever it is, guys, it is like half her time. It was the fastest launch ever. And that book became an Amazon bestseller as well in 3 categories, stayed for 6 days. So for a singular effort, I thought it was freaking amazing. I'm so happy.
Oh, that's absolutely incredible, absolutely incredible. And it's wonderful to know the story, the power of manifesting and having that belief and just expecting it to happen. And with Marav behind you, you know, she knows anything is possible, and it's all about our focus and determination and not letting any disempowering beliefs or programs get in the way. So when we step out of our own way, the magic happens. And it's great though you've been continually manifesting. And do you want to tell us what it was like? Because obviously you started with learning those 4 languages. So you had that great intuition that they were going to be needed someday. And, you know, how difficult, did people think you were crazy learning these languages, or how did that come about?
So back in Poland, growing up in elementary school, we had to mandatorily learn Russian, right, at that time. And even though, you know, it was a foreign language, if you have to do something, it's not the same that if you choose to do something. Years later, I'm still fluent in it. I know many, many people around the world who speak the language. I have a few friends here in the US, so I can communicate easily in Russian. But I knew that if I want to travel places like United States, Australia, Africa, many places in Europe, English is the language. And German was the second choice. I just simply wanted to learn so badly. And so I started with private lessons. I started studying, taking little classes with private tutors before I actually applied for college. And believe it or not, I originally wanted to study English and German, but again, universe delivered in a very different way, and I end up going in a different direction. And because of that, I had the most incredible college experience. I got to complete my master's within 4.5 years, and study not only English, German, but also Russian on a college level. So I was extremely excited that again, something that I was planning didn't happen the way I wanted, but then it was actually better. And that's another thing that I learned in life. Sometimes when things don't go the way we want, we start, you know, pull our hair out, be upset. And in my current studies of positive intelligence and mental fitness, I help people to understand that in every challenge and obstacle, we always can find a gift and opportunity. And for me, there's just countless examples of that in life.
Wow, that's incredible. Can you tell us about your current studies? That sounds interesting.
Absolutely. So I call myself student of life. I call myself this person that is always curious and always wants to learn more. I'm so open to new experiences, to new modalities. When I started with high performance, I loved everything about it. I loved the fact that I can help people to go from where they are to the next levels of their clarity, energy, productivity, courage, and influence. But that was just still the beginning. Then I started to be introduced to NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and timeline therapy, and realizing that all these scarcity mindsets that I was growing up with, truly, like everything is limited, there's no money, there's no this, we don't have that, never looking for the brighter picture, and yet being able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, creating amazingness. You can crush a lot of limiting beliefs and negative like emotions. And then there were coming these phenomenal studies. Like I said, I studied with Tony Robbins in his Robbins Madanes coaching school, strategic interventions. I did a couple masterminds with Brendan Burchard and then Eben Pagan. Actually, I'm in his mastermind for life. And recently, I'm deeply, deeply involved with Joel Bauer, who I'm studying public speaking and art of presentation with. I just went through a masterclass where I can now present online and offline. And my newest thing is I create my own IP. I I am in the process of creating my own coaching program. It all started with my system, a 3D system of discovering, defining, designing, and delivering purpose to the world. I realized that once we own purpose, once we know what we truly, truly want, we become unstoppable. We can actually go every day like these energizer bunnies, like there's the force behind, because you have the purpose and passion that pushes you. And I can now share this message I'm so passionate about, and the message is this: live your life to the fullest every day before you run out of time. And if you want me to, I can just tell you in 3 words why I'm so passionate about it. It's because the 5 years ago breakthrough that I had, that the day and when I'm gone and there will be nothing behind, and I wanted to leave this powerful, meaningful legacy. I want that for everyone, to live every day and enjoy life and feel the vibrancy, the zest, the power of every day. You know how you look out there and people are stuck on the phones, everybody heads down, everybody's looking on the phone. People are passing amazingness without knowing it. They live through something incredible. You ask them the next day and they already forgot. They live on TV, they live on social media, they don't live life. And I figured, like, if I could share this, that there's so much beauty, so much amazingness in life. Live it, enjoy it, thrive in it. And then at the end, have no regrets. Oh God, have no regrets. Imagine that you look back and you say, you know what? I did everything I wanted. I lived my life to the fullest. So that's my message, and I'm sticking to it.
Oh, that's brilliant. And I know from reading your book, you start with like looking at pictures and doing your live events, but you also talk about regrets, and you give lots of tips about it. And I am on exactly the same wavelength as you with digital detox, because, as you know, I channel, and all my messages about the world is changing. It's already changing. And us as humans, we're changing every second. We're not the same person on an intercellular level as we were when we started this talk. So change is constant, and we have to be open for it. And you mentioned the feminine energy. You know, now is the time to come from your heart space and stop using your head space. And, you know, it's people like us who are going to bring about the changes. And I know, Jola, you're so passionate and you're so dynamic. And with, even though we're saying technical detox, technology is the way of the future. So I know that you'll make something absolutely outstanding so that people will be able to simply follow your instructions and do it. And I think everything starts with choices and having the choice to want to change. And like, you had everything going for you. You had the perfect picture home and the high corporate job and beautiful family, yet you had that emptiness. And you touched on emptiness when the children leave home as well, you know, because I think a lot of people, parents, I recently went to talk with Silver Sirens, a group of dynamic ladies, and it's all about, sorry, my alarm's going off. It's all about how people cope when their children leave home, because people forget the children are not for them, they're born through them, you know, and we have to support them. And on a spiritual level, I believe we choose our parents for the experiences we want in this life. And I know that both you and I could talk about these topics for hours, but in a nutshell, would you like to say some of the tips in your book? Obviously, we'll leave the link for your book so people can read it. What messages would you give for people wanting to start a new career? Because, as I mentioned, with the 2 years of constant change and lockdown, many people have lost their jobs as they knew it don't exist and people have to reinvent themselves. And you've got two lovely children. What about the children? You know, what jobs are they going to do? What success tips? Because you are so super successful and you're able to inspire that hope in anyone and spark and ignite that flame to get them inspired.
Thanks so much for this question. Oh my God, this opens a brand new territory to talk about, right? So my mentor Joel Bauer often says he has in his definition of success, it's not amount of money you make, it's not, you know, what you achieve in life. It's if your adult children want to spend time with you. And this was like a for me. I'm like, wow, I am ultra successful. My children love to spend time with me and my husband, and they home. And my son is in his senior year in college. My daughter graduated college, and they love to be with us, and we love spend time together and have good time. And I think that if with us showing our children our passion, our drive, and not being like this two-face that says one thing and does other thing, but like really show that we do what we love, and no matter if there is obstacles and roadblocks, we will still try to overcome them on our way to where we're going, to that bigger vision, to the bigger picture we have in mind. And I think that I was able to show my kids that I'm very passionate about my work, and they're very proud of me. They say that, and if I have something that happens, and I announce to them, and they like, "Mom, good for you, happy for you," and they share my work on social media and stuff like that. So that makes me really really happy. But going back to your question, how I share my message, I would kindly invite you on Amazon, in the link that Beverly will give you. There is a version of Kindle for 99 cents. Honestly, I can give you all the message in you, but you can simply own this book for under $1, right? Or you can buy a paper copy if you choose, and then just go chapter by chapter and highlight things for yourself that you find valuable. All I can say this, maybe not everything is there for you, but you'll find things that will help you and enrich your life. But what I also do is, I also in this book have a special place, and I show it to you right now. This book is like a gift that keeps on giving. I gift two things. First one is a gift page where you, just by having this book, you can access my gift page online, and there's some courses and there's some master classes that I gifted to you, as well as opportunity to talk to me if you'd like to one day. And the second thing, I'm inviting you to an actual live presentation that's going to happen on December 28th. And it's going to be at 9 p.m. New York time. So I believe it's going to be the very next day, 11 a.m. Australia, right? It's 14 hours apart, right? We are?
Yes.
14 hours. Right. So Australia has also multiple time zones, and so is Singapore and all these other places in Asia. I'm kind of like living in multiple time zones at the same time, because I have clients from Hawaii, California, New York, and then Europe. And then, so I have to always think who is where at what time. However, 28th of December, and that code that I have in it, as a matter of fact, I could do something here right now and let you scan it. So you could actually scan this code if you want to, and that will bring you straight to my page, a registration for that workshop. So just scan it with your phone, and it will take you straight to the registration page. Workshop is free, so much value. So instead of me now telling you all these things that you could potentially do, if you go and visit me in my workshop, I would totally love it to be able to share my my knowledge with you.
Wow, that's amazing. As you were talking, I've scanned it in my phone, and it goes, attention, don't miss the from impossible to impossible, etc. So people, it does work, because I was going to ask Jola after the show to send me the link, which we'll do anyway. But just by watching this, you can scan it. So I'll make sure that this video is out in time for people to be able to attend your workshop. So
thank you. And I will also give you the access to the book so you can find it. But like I said, there is just, I have this one desire, and I will repeat this quote. I learned from my mentors that, you know, we quote other people, it's time now for us to quote ourselves. We all have the wisdom, the experience from our life. We have all these things that we went through, we learned, and if we can just share with others, people will benefit. If it comes from heart, if it comes from within, right? So my books came from within me. My desire to share this deep passion that everyone can wake up, spring out of bed without feeling dread, without feeling this lack of energy, and we can always reach the next level regardless where you are. You can be an ultra successful CEO of the company, you can be an amazing entrepreneur, you can be a mom, a housewife. It doesn't matter. There's always next level for everyone. And if we could just know that whatever it is, if we just simply love our life and at the end have no regrets and feel engagement and joy and just, like I said, feeling for every single moment, that my mission is complete. I want to share this with millions of people around the world. That's how passionate I'm about this.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I was going to ask you, if there was one thing you could do to change the world, what would it be?
I think I'm on the way. I'm actually in the midst of doing it. Again, very intuitively, if you asked me to stand on stage, have a microphone in my hand, like even now, you may not see it, but I actually have a microphone here that I'm using online. But the thing is that you cannot share your message if you are invisible. So by me studying how to present the message for the world that I have, message from within, how to present from the heart without, I don't have any notes, I don't have any script here. I'm talking from the heart, from a person who honestly never presented on stage, never presented online. I think I came a long way, and I'm giving myself a pat on the back. And that's another thing I'm teaching my clients. For every small or big success that you ever have, for everything you achieve, for everything that you accomplish, celebrate the heck out of yourself. Celebrate every single moment, because people have the tendency to achieve and go immediately to the next thing and forget and that's there is no this feeling of accomplishment happening. And I am thinking that because I give myself this feeling of gratitude for self, for accomplishing these things and learning more and being able, if I can do this effectively through different ways like podcasts and online presentations, as well as offline on stage, I think it will catch the fire, because I am told that people are attracted to the energy I give them, that energy of just, you know what, you are possible, everybody's possible, just trust it, you are good enough, you're beautiful enough, you have enough. And if there is some troubles, roadblocks, if things don't work out your way, that's why you work with the coach. Coach would sometimes tell you and show you things you never even knew existed, because when we have this tunnel vision, we only see in front of us, and coach comes and coach kind of like looks from the side like, I never thought about this, thank you so much. And so I am just here to tell you that it is possible. Go from impossible to I am possible. And I wish you all from the bottom of my heart that you become what your desires are, you become what your dreams are, because that's what life all about. Like, go after these big things and never feel that, you know what, I'm not good enough. That's one thing. Don't think that you're not good enough. You are perfectly good enough.
Oh, that's such a wonderful, heartfelt message. And the message is exactly the same as what you giving parents, to lead by example. And from you leading by example and coming from your heart, you're speaking the word of love. You're coming from that beautiful source of all that is the oneness, because what you want for yourself, you want for everyone, and it's for everyone to be the best version of themselves. So I'm really grateful for you, Jola, for all you are and all you do. And I'm so grateful that you came on the show today in divine timing to share this wonderful message with the world. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
And again, I couldn't be more grateful to you. And I know doing interviews myself with my guests, we always said it. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful for for you showing up. I am thanking you for inviting me, because honestly, this is a part what you just asked about. How do you share your message? Through this sort of collaborations, international collaborations, throughout, writing these books and making my travels around the world. I met thousands and thousands of people around the world. And when you make these little moments of connections, even us, we didn't really work together. It was a total in between, a little conversation, a small little collab in between writing books. And yet this happened. So I truly believe that everybody shows in our life for a reason, and it's so amazing. So I want to thank you very much for inviting me. And I already would love to invite you to my Jola PC TV show, perhaps at the beginning of 2023. So we start strong with Australia, coming to New York, New Jersey this time.
Wow, that would be wonderful. I feel very honored and blessed, and I'm very grateful as well to all our listeners. And thank you, everyone, and wishing you and your family, Jola, season's greetings, whatever people choose to celebrate, and to all the listeners, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy New Year, happy holidays. Ciao.